As you know, I have created some controller for us. We have the get, we have the post, everything is already created here. So first, I could just go into the documentation and try to find the registration inside the module. If you didn't do this, you can see some error that you have to define this in the app module or user module. Now that we have this, let's create our constructor and inject this into the constructor. So to do that, you can just copy this code and paste it in the parameter. And now we have users repository injected into our service. Now to make this useful, I will just use this inside the find all. In this case, it is called find. And if you are looking at the documentation, it's going to return all of the records for us. I need to return promise of user array. Let's import this. And we're good to go. Now to test this, I have this HTTP that I can trigger. And I should see my name here that I've just created from database. Perhaps I want to fetch a single user. Right now it's just a mock. The implementation is quite simple. So let's take a look at our user controller. We have the get method and the param ID. This might be new to you, for I'm using pass in pipe, and I will explain soon why I'm using this. So I will just go to this definition here in my service. And we want to pass in the ID as the parameter. Again, I'm going to go into this, and instead of number, just going to return promise of user entity. So now let's head into our HTTP and try to find the user. And voila, we have this in our Insomnia now. But let me explain to you why I'm using pass in pipe quickly. So let me just type of ID. And you can see that it is string. We will face issue if we are passing string, but the database is using number as the ID. So that's why we are using the pass in pipe to convert those values as properly as number. Alright, let me show you quickly. I'm just going to hit this. So instead of string, it's going to give you as number. So this is being imported from the NestJS command. Now that aside, let's move on to the creation. We need to pass in the payload that we want. In this case, I'm going to name it body. Let's go to the service itself. Some of you might know that this can lead to error. So let me just return promise user. It will work, but despite that, it's not going to properly work. You can see that it's already trying to throw an error. So what we want to do is actually try to make this as an instance so that we can create this properly. As you can see, from create method, it's just going to create a new entities, and it's not actually going to create for you. So to really create this record, I want to return user this.user repository.save, and then the variable that I have here. As you can see, we have multiple overload for this, and it can pass an array of users, or it can pass in single user, and that should solve this. Now we have this. Let's try to hit the API again. Let's go to create user and quickly check our database. It shouldn't have this value yet. As you can see, it's just my name now. Going to hit on send, and now we should see the new record reflected here. Alright, now that is done. Let's head over to the last two sections that we have here, update and also delete. For update, we need to have the ID of the record that you are sure you want to update, and also what are the body for it. So in this case, I have this here, and I can just go to this method. Let's see what it returns. Head over to the API and try to save this. I want to save my first record. Instead of 15, perhaps I can type in as 10. You can see that it is actually not returning the correct value. It shows that it is being affected, but it is not returning the record that I'm expecting. And then if I hit the API again, it will give me the latest record. And then finally for this video, I'm going to show you how to delete the record. Let's say I want to record the user with ID 1. What I can do is go to the controller, make sure that I have this delete method and with the ID. And we can just done this. So this way we can make sure if it is deleted or not. So let me try to hit this here. It returned as true. And if I return get all users, it should just return the second user. Alright, in the next video we will learn how to use relationship. And I'm sure all the projects out there are not as simple as a user table. So there are some relationships that you have to take care of, such as one-to-many, one-to-one, or many-to-many. So we will learn those in the next videos. I'll see you guys.